Time for another video. Yeah, I was just watching a Tariq Twitter space playback. It was the Somali guy talking about he was a foundational Somali American, Black American, or something like that. But Tariq, I don't think Tariq broke it down to the audience to where they, see, these people keep trying to find chinks in the armor of foundational Black Americans. Tariq should have told the guy, because the guy say he gave a hypothetical, which is plausible. He said, what about 300 years? What would I be? I would be a foundational. See, the thing is, he was talking about an ethno-genesis. He said, I would have my own ethno-genesis. That's the truth. You would have an ethno-genesis, but you would only be a Black American, or whatever designation you claim yourself to be, but you won't be a foundational Black American. You can never be that. Tariq got that right. See, a lot of you people, a lot of you Black from the diaspora, if you be here long enough, you would be different from the place you fled from. you would have an ethnogenesis far into the future, but you still won't be a foundational Black American. Your lineage cuts off. It only, if you go back so far, it would only, let's say 300, 500 years from now, you can only go back to when your people immigrated over here. See, the thing is, we didn't immigrate. See, the concept of foundational Black American goes like this. America was pretty much a wilderness. Yeah, it had Native Americans over here already, and some of us are descendants of these Native Americans, man. It wasn't like, quote unquote, civilized with the technological level it was even back during the formation, like, log cabins and all that stuff, windmills, the grind up the flour and all that stuff. Horses weren't even over here back then. So the thing is, the United States, the concept of the United States is a totally new country, man. Like, it was no United States until our ancestors, we was enslaved and forced to do it, but we still did it, and white people couldn't do it without us. So we're the foundation of this country, man. You can't say we immigrated anywhere. Even though 3% of Black people came over here from Africa, can't say that we immigrated. Because when those Africans came, there was no United States. There was no strong setup. It wasn't the foundation of what it is, it wasn't really strong. It was colonies and stuff like that. So you got some who came when some states was here, but it still wasn't all 50 states. It still wasn't the strength of what we know as the United States. So they're foundational. So you can't immigrate over here after the system has been set up. Yeah, even though the system in the beginning was primitive, for the time it fit the time. But you can't come years later and start your lineage here in the 60s, even in the 1900s. You can't really start. You can only say, if you start your lineage before Jim Crow and all that stuff, during Jim Crow and all that stuff, then you can only claim that portion of your lineage. You can say, well, you've been here since your people been here since Jim Crow. That's the farthest you can go. But you can't still say you're foundational. Maybe you can have a little honor in that, saying, hey, my people was here during Jim Crow, so they experienced racism too. You could technically use that, but you're still not a foundational Black American. There was just wilderness and stuff like that here. You can't just come here and claim that and saying that you contributed, your ancestry contributed to the building of this nation, man. It was already laid down. When you immigrated here, it was called America, United States. It wasn't the colonies, the 13 colonies. So that's how that go. I'm just saying, man, some of these things got to be said, because I listen to these spaces. Tariq don't quite go there with them, and it's not that he got to go there with the person he's talking to, the the tether he talking to. It's just so the other tethers and other people can understand what's really going on. Yes, technically you will have an ethnogenesis. I think that need to be said so they can't keep hanging their hat on that. Might trip up some FBAs who don't quite, who want to, because see, that's the thing, you got to state these things, give people what they say is the truth, and then lay down the truth. Yeah, you have an ethnogenesis if you be here long enough, but you're still not a foundational Black American. You just like the Europeans, man, who came later. They had an ethnogenesis, the Irish and all that, but they're just white Americans. They're not foundational. Now the people, now here it go. Now the white people who descended from Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and all that stuff, them ancient old money mother effing white folks, yeah, they foundational. See, I didn't think about that, did you? But I'm gonna put that out there. They're foundation. They can say, but as far as reparations, they have no claim to that. You know, they already got their reparations. Being white and getting what they got off the back of our ancestors. They don't really have no claim to any kind of extra benefits, but they gonna get themselves what they want anyway. But they're technically foundational white Americans. You can call them that, foundational white Americans. They ancestry, hell, their ancestry was the slave masters of our FBA ancestors. Technically, they foundational white Americans. See, we didn't do it alone, but the thing is, we did most of the work. They're foundational in the sense, yeah, they kind of put the shit together as far as the paperwork and all that shit, the brutality, the overseers and all that shit. America's a concept that stemmed from both them and us. So that's the thing. White Europeans, and Black natives and some Africans mixed in. But that's the thing, man. Like an ethnogenesis, you got to give it time. You know, and you can't really say, as a Black from the diaspora immigrated here, you can't really call yourself. You can't really say it's an ethnogenesis unless you kind of have you add your own cultural element to it. If you just absorbing our culture, our FBA culture, you just kind of like tethering on still. So you just a Black American, or you know, that's what you would be classified as according to white folk. If you Black of the diaspora, they wouldn't even classify you as a white Somalian no more, because you'd have been here for 200-300 years. Like that whiteness wouldn't even be any benefit. It's only a benefit over there in Somalia and Ethiopia, where they would refer to East Africans as white. They would have some benefit over there, but over here they would just put you in a black box. So if you just be a Black American later on down the line, you wouldn't, you know, but we'd still be Black American. In addition to that, we'd be foundational Black Americans. So we would always have that distinction, foundational. So that's how that goes. Y'all would have an ethnogenesis. Y'all would be a Black American. Y'all would have whatever y'all bits and pieces of Somalia or Ethiopia or whatever, Africa, or the Caribbean tied to your little cultures or whatever. But you would never be able to go far back like we can. You would never have that history to claim and say, this is what y'all did. Y'all history will start, will begin in y'all country, and then migrate over here with y'all. So y'all don't get to cut y'all history off and try to just say, now my history started from America. No, it's going to migrate with y'all. See, our history starts here, man. Our ancestors was born into slavery, man. Our ancestors was mated with each other. Do you understand that? I don't refer to other Black people as brother and sister, but I understand where it comes from. That's why it's so easy for us to say that. brother and sister, man. A lot of our ancestors was mated with each other, man, inbred with each other. Do you understand what chattel slavery mean, man? That's why we have this spirit, man. It's almost like our mindset, our spirit has been reinforced, man. That's what happened, man. Like you keep blending similar genes together, like traits become stronger. Yeah, and there's probably some degenerate stuff with the genes, some defects, those get enhanced too. But a lot of our DNA has been reinforced, man. Like a lot of y'all black, when the diaspora like to say y'all the real, true, pure. No, we the true, pure. You can't get no purer than inbred. Don't y'all understand that? Y'all haven't thought about that, have you? I said that in a video before, man. We've been inbred with each other, man. Family, sisters, aunts, mothers, dads, cousins. On them plantations, man. We've been bred like cattle, man, mixed and matched with each other. Don't y'all get that? That's why we're a different kind of black person, man. We're not the same as y'all. Y'all know it. Everybody knows it. We have a different way of talking, communicating. We have feelings and everything has been enhanced through that inbred, that inbreeding, and our experiences, overall experiences in this now United States, man. That's why we're a different kind of black person, man. We're not the same, man. And it's like a gift and a curse, really, in a sense. That familiarity. That's why a lot of black people behave familiar with each other. It's only good when it's good, but it's bad when it's bad. I think I'm gonna say enough on that for right now. To be continued.